Hey guys, hope you're all doing well. We are still dealing with the aftermath of the snow that came yesterday, and it's actually still snowing. It's been 2 days, about 24 inches of snow so far, and it was about 3 hours of cleaning up last night, and they're out there shoveling again, and I was out there shoveling yesterday too, even though I'm not supposed to. Guys, I wanted to talk a little bit about yesterday's vibe because I was getting some weird feedback. I'm not telling you to go out and go sleep around with everybody, you know? This is just like Spirit's suggestion if you are going, like retracting too far in, you know? There needs to be a normal balance, right? Instead of going all the way left or all the way right, meet somewhere in the middle, something healthy, right? So that's kind of where it was at. Like you can't going all the way into hermit mode and staying there forever isn't healthy. Being too extrovert isn't healthy, right? There needs to be some middle ground somewhere. I think that's kind of what Spirit was trying to say. Good morning. Okay. Let's see. Father in Heaven, Spirit Guide, show me clearly. What do you want to tell the collective of YouTube today? Of January 2nd. The snow here for January. What do you want to tell the collective for Tuesday, the 2nd? Not January, February. I'm so bad at that. Okay, hey, Maud. Let's see. What do you want to tell the collective for today? What do you want to tell the collective for today? Okay. Let's see. Well, it seems like there was some type of tower moment. All right, I'm only going to take the cards that actually flipped up because like everything just fell. Maybe the shit just fell. The shit just dropped, maybe. Like outside, the shit just dropped. All right, what dropped? The ball dropped? Something happened? Something dropped? Possibly? You had some kind of clarity? And now my ears are like ringing like crazy. Like that weird deafening ring sound. Okay, you just want to be emotionally fulfilled, even if it's just a little bit, and you're no longer waiting. You're going to take some kind of action to bring some kind of stability in your life, guys. Okay? Some kind of stability. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. It's like you're ready. You're like, I don't care, even if it's just a little bit. I just need a little bit of an emotional. See, I told you. Towers came falling. Told you had a tower moment. I take my cards falling like that as a tower moment. You have some type of aha, it's time to take care of me. I'm ready to take action. I'm ready to bring stability. What else? I'm ready for a new beginning, possibly, in something that really excites me, something that's going to make me feel good about myself, about, life. The Hierophant kept you blinded. The commitment kept you blinded. I don't know why today I'm really feeling the Hierophant as something extremely religious. Did your religion keep you blinded? Did your faith keep you blinded? Or your faith in something kept you blinded? Doing things the way they're supposed to do kept you blinded by the truth? Okay, what about this? This commitment, this faith, this rules, these obligations kept you blinded? What about it? Oh my God, this is the first card that came out in my reading on Facebook today. Third party celebration, no more celebrating. With the player, or somebody or something that just was going in and out of your life, abrasively going in and out of your life. Blinded by a third party situation with a player. But it was almost like faith kept you there. Maybe you had faith, that the hope and faith kept you blinded. That kind of makes more sense, right? The hope and faith that you had in this person kept you blinded, possibly, in this commitment. But you're ready to grow. It's like you're ready to grow. And this card is coming underneath. The Eight of Wands. It's like you're ready to grow. You're ready to flourish. You're ready to bloom. You're ready to create in your life. You're ready to be stable. You're ready to bring stability and balance back into your life. You want to be seen. I'm like, you're going to grow and I'm going to be seen all together. You just open to that statement and you're blinded. You don't want to deal with this. It's almost like this, you realize now that in this epiphany that you had, or this thought process, or this tower moment that you had, how you just, excuse me, it was like you were, maybe you're like, this was a lesson. This was a life lesson I needed to learn. And I think you're starting to see this. It was like, it was the karma that needed to be taught, right? A lesson that you're like, you didn't know how to judge. You didn't want to judge this relationship, this commitment, this, right? Yeah, exactly. I know exactly what you mean. You don't know if this burden will ever be judged properly with this commitment. It's like, I feel like you feel like this person will never be judged to their, or maybe never understand it. Maybe never understand what they did to you, right? Like, this will never be fair. Yeah, it made you weak. It made you weak. Keeping yourself blinded made you weak. Okay. See? It's like it didn't give you the love that you actually were looking for, and now you know the truth. Now you see the light on this situation. Okay, Father in heaven, what else do you want to tell the collective for today? What else do you want to tell the collective for today? You're coming out of anxiety. You're coming out of a place where you're having a hard time being at peace. Hello, African sun. Yeah. Oopsie daisies. You're coming at this place where you're finally, it's like, I think you're at peace with knowing that you didn't know. You're coming to a place, you're starting to get at peace that you just didn't know. There's like dual confirmation here, right? It's like, okay, I didn't know. I didn't know. Like you were keeping yourself blind, or this person blinded you, or it's almost like you're coming to this understanding. Right. It's almost like, does that make sense though? You're coming to this place of understanding where you're at peace, where like, I'm all right. I was blinded by the truth. I didn't see the truth. Maybe my faith and hope in this person kept me blinded, and I think you're finally starting to accept this, right? Whoa. What else? What else? Anything else with this deck? Yes, yes, yes. It's like you're ready to like, you're at this point where you're like, I shouldn't allow myself to be abandoned, okay? You're like, I shouldn't allow this. I need to make a choice. Like, I don't see these cards, right? Because I'm pulling them from back up because that's how it fell on the table. I need to make a choice. This unloyal person was never fair to me. I need to be at peace. I need to be at home with myself and build a new life and build a new foundation for myself. Okay? What else? This old life wasn't a gift. It wasn't the gift I expected it to be. You needed some time because you were blinded, or you had blindfolders on, or rose-colored glasses, to see how unhappy you truly were, okay? But it's like now you know why. It's like now you know why. You needed some time to see how unhappy this past cycle was. You needed some time to see this, how unhappy you were. And you needed to, it's like now you know why. Having that time gave you the time to see things a little bit more clearly. Absolutely. Yes. Self-love, self-worth, self-respect, right? Oh, guys, I'm sorry. I'm phlegmy. My nose is like a little stuffy. I'm always like that in the morning, though. Just the way I am. What else? What else do you want to tell the collective with this deck? You didn't want to heal this broken heart. Maybe you didn't want to heal this connection. What about this? Let me see. You didn't want to heal the heart. But it's like, but now it's like you're starting to ground yourself. Yeah. Well, we're all naive and thinking there are moments of Disney love stories in our lives, so we shouldn't totally forego it. The problem is as children, they make us believe that's normal, and it's not, right? So it's like your heart was so broken in the past, but you're starting to ground yourself, and you're starting to love yourself again, to love who you are, right? You're starting to see your worth, and you're starting to see that it is okay to love again. It's like these cards are all falling sideways, right? So it's like you're not 100% there, but it's like you're starting to see your worth. You're starting to see that this person didn't really value you, right? But you're becoming more stable and seeing that it's okay to open my heart to love again, you know? You might not be like ready to go knock on the neighbor's door, but I think you're getting to this place in your mind where it's like, it's okay to love again, right? It's okay to love. And I do have worth, and I do have value, even though maybe this person made you feel like they didn't value you. See, that you're like, this was not my wish fulfillment. I think you're just coming to this clarity, right? This never was gonna evolve maybe to the happy life and the happy family. You need somebody who is it's like almost like you're like, I need a person who will value this. Like value me, value the fact that you want this in your life. You want a person of value, right? You want a good person that's gonna make you happy. You want a stable person who isn't going to make you feel like you need to put boundaries up, right? Okay, let me see something. It's almost like they're saying too, Spirit's saying like another like cross message. You put this person on a pedestal, right? And now you see the truth and as to why this didn't grow. And as I say that, 2 more cards fall out. Yep. This person was never, it's like Spirit saying, this person was the one that was withholding. Okay? The one that didn't have enough to give. Okay? And now it's like you can actually speak your truth. Don't fall by, let's see. He values me only when he decided to walk away. And when I would return, he would do the same thing. Exactly. So it's like now you know. It's like now you know your truth. Like you knew it was unhappy. You put this person on a pedestal. Maybe there was a facade of things being happy for a while, but now it's like you've come to this realization why this wasn't blessed. They never had enough to give you. It's like, but you're at a place where it's like you can speak your truth about this now, right? You are entering a new cycle. You've entered a new cycle. Maybe this realization has propelled you into this new cycle. You've probably been already progressively going there. But every time we have a tower moment, every time we have a self-realization, which isn't like, that motherfucker, he did this, da, 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 da. Just like that. I get it now. I'm not angry. I'm putting the pieces together. I understand. That is evolving. Understanding, not blaming, right? What else? Okay. What is the healing message that you want to tell today? Spirit guides. You were fragile, so you sacrificed yourself. You weren't listening to your spirit guides, so it was really hard for you to release this burden that you were dealing with. You need to ascend. You need to, they're saying rapidly ascend. You need to succeed. You took your time out. You are now aware of things. You've now thought things through, right? Everything I was just saying, right? And you've also done some self-examination, right? It's like now it's like you're really starting to know who you truly are as a person. What else? Spirit guide, show me clearly. This wasn't a safe haven you were in the past. You didn't have enough boundaries up, right? Because when you don't love yourself, you don't have boundaries up. Or when you love somebody so much, you don't think they're going to hurt you, so you don't have boundaries. But sometimes they're just healthy boundaries, right? See, this couldn't grow. You didn't have enough boundaries up. This wasn't safe for you. Oh my God, the card that fell out, it just fell out again. The one, it was like poking out and I looked at it. Yeah, this couldn't grow. This didn't have the potential to grow. It wasn't strong enough. The connection wasn't, even though it might have felt strong for you, it's almost saying it wasn't strong enough. This wasn't stable enough. This wasn't strong enough to grow. What else? Healing messages, please. Healing messages. Even though you're longing for someone, you're feeling the separation, right? You're feeling the pain of the separation. Even though you're really longing for them, and you knew that it wasn't meant to be and it wasn't meant to grow. What else? It's like, you know now, you weren't listening to this. You were not listening to the signs. And this is why you couldn't go the distance. All right? Now you see truthfully. It's like you see, it's funny because these two cards are like underneath each other. They actually, it's almost like mirroring cards. It's like you're seeing your truth. You're finally seeing your truth. Okay? Which is a good thing, which is healing, right? It's almost like you feel like, it's almost like you feel like I created this, right? Oh God, sexual arts again. Here we go. Let's see. But I'm not going to read it that way because that's not what I'm feeling today. Yesterday, I felt like that's where it was. Today, I feel like it's almost like they were saying, because sexuality is a sacral chakra. It's also about creativity, right? It's saying like you weren't being creative enough, I'm feeling. In what? You weren't being creative enough because you were too sad. You were too sad. It was like you were trapped in this sadness. You couldn't think outside the box because of the sadness. You need to let it go. You needed to let it go. And somebody said Mount Everest, and there's a huge mountain behind this lady, right? Kind of looks like Pompeii with the Grim Reapers behind it. It was just 2020 on my clock. Let's see. It's like you know you just needed a little bit of time. You needed to be patient with yourself. See, you weren't manifesting. You weren't manifesting. You didn't know how to, maybe. Maybe you didn't realize it. Oh, I've been there. I've been to Pompeii. It's actually beautiful. It's sad. Sad, but beautiful. Actually, talking about our yesterday vibe, there's phallic symbols all over the stones carved from Pompeii. And the penis points you in the direction of the whorehouses because it was a main shipping area. Sorry for the history lecture here. It was a main shipping area. And so, like, that's where was a big export-import area Pompeii was in the time, in its day. And nobody spoke the language. So the sailors that would come in knew the penis sign was pointing them in the direction of the whorehouse. See? It's an earthly thing, I guess, whatever. It is what it is. Yeah, it's part of it's human nature. Not that human nature is going to a whorehouse, but you know what I'm saying, this sexuality drive. So it's like you weren't manifesting and you self-sabotage yourself. And now it's like time to discover who you truly are. Yes. Actually, I don't know why. So the lady was telling us the story. They would go out in the middle of the street and these people, the prostitutes would howl. They would go, ah, woo, right? So like if you couldn't see so you could hear the direction. And if the sailors preferred a male prostitute, because they were gay, they would hear the male sign, the male howl, and they would follow that sound, and they would hear the female howl, and this is how they communicated, because nobody spoke. And then they have literally stone things in the whorehouses, and they're of pictures of sexual positions. And they because they didn't speak the same language, they would just point at the picture like, I want that, I want that, I want that. Crazy, right? But very creative, since there was no Google Translate back in the day. Picture show. The cat calling. It's interesting. Pompeii is pretty cool. It was very progressive. It was ahead of its time. Just sad. Hundreds of thousands of people died, and nobody even knew it existed. Because even, I don't know if you've ever been to Europe, it's like, I know we're totally going off. Base the story of the single. Maybe you might be right. That's probably exactly why. It kind of makes sense, right? But I don't know if you've ever been to Italy, or I'm sure other towns in Europe are like this. Like, it's one little town, and then it's isolated for miles, and then it's another little town, and it's isolated for miles. I'm sure back then it was even more isolated, right? So when Pompeii went under, it was like it never existed, because a lot of other local people didn't know so much about Pompeii. It was more the import-export people. They were progressive. The other outside towns were not. And then years and years and years and years later, like there was almost like something written, some documentation of how there was a town there, like hundreds of years afterwards. So there was always a theory, kind of like what's the theory of the city under the water? What's the name of the city now? I can't remember. Right, in Greece. Well, anyway, there was always a theory it existed, but then one day, a farmer had all this land, and he needed to dig something, and he started digging, and he hit the top of a building, and he's like, "What is this?" And it literally, Atlantis. Thank you. I couldn't think of it. And they literally started excavating, and all these farmlands of all these people in the area, the government took over, because as they were digging, they were like, "This is the proof. This is the town that was written in this paper. This is Pompeii. This is how it came to be where it is right now." Yeah, I know. Atlantis, Atlantis, Atlantis. It's like Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. Maybe it's like the genie. Maybe we say Atlantis 3 times. We'll get some good luck. All right. So you weren't manifesting yourself to grow. It was like you self-sabotage yourself, which we were talking about yesterday. But now it's time to discover your true purpose. Okay? I don't know why I went off on a tangent on Pompeii, but it really is a pretty interesting. Ever see the movie Pompeii? It's a good movie. It's a good movie. Let's see. You didn't want to take this adventure because you didn't want to stand in your power to reinvent yourself. Okay. That's why you didn't manifest it, and that's why you self-sabotaged it. It's because it was like you didn't want to do it, maybe. You didn't, maybe we're just feeling lazy. Maybe you just thought things were going to change, and you didn't have to go through all this work, right? What else? Whoa. All right, I don't know. I'm going to put these all in because they didn't really fall, but they were going to. Whatever's meant to fall will fall, because they always do. Anything else? Anything else with this deck? No. Okay. How about this deck, Father in Heaven? Show me clearly. You did not, you can't, you couldn't remember who you were. And I always take that as not remembering who you are as almost like you don't know your worth, because if you knew who you were, you would value yourself, right? So it's like you didn't know your worth. You didn't know who you were. You couldn't remember who you were. Why? You needed to see it. It's like you needed it to come into fruition. You needed to physically see it. Maybe that means like you needed to see how you put yourself in such a bad place, how you didn't want to take action on maybe being something different or being new or creating something new in your life. You didn't feel like you had the power or the energy or the will to move forward, right? But it's like you didn't know your worth, but you needed to see it. It's almost like you had to see it. Like you had to go through this, right? I think, wasn't I just saying this? It was like a lesson. Was it saying in this reading or the reading I just did before this? Yeah, you need to see it. You needed to see your truth. You needed to see your reflection. Maybe you needed to see you weren't making yourself a priority and you needed to overcome this difficulty. Maybe you were just prioritizing the other person and their situation, your life around them, but it wasn't about you. And sometimes it needs to be about you. What else? I don't know why Spirit's guiding me to pick up this deck, but there they are. It's more what I use for most of my personal readings, but what else? It's like you had a hard time standing up. You had a hard time standing up in your power. You had a hard time you had a hard time remembering who you are. You had a hard time rising up to your true potential, to who you truly are. Right? What else? You didn't know your worth. Wow. All right, very much repeat messages here, guys. Okay, very much repeat messages. Let's see. Any last cards you want to tell them for today's reading, please? Any last messages? You need to recognize who you truly are as a person. It's like I feel like they're saying you don't. Explain? It's almost like Spirit is saying, by you going through this cycle, this lesson that you had to go through, right? It's actually giving you wealth. It's giving you a harvest. It's giving you something to reap. Now you know you didn't have a firm foundation. It was like it's almost like it was a gift. Sounds so stupid, but it's the truth. By you not being recognized, by you not being rewarded by this person, it was almost a gift. All right? It's like now you've gone within and you know that you didn't have a firm foundation and you just need a little time to see this properly. Yeah, see, it's like you know that this wasn't the foundation that you needed. This wasn't the commitment that you needed in your life. You just had to go through this lesson. And sometimes it takes time. Yeah, exactly. You can see it now. So if you're beating yourself up over it, they're saying like, don't, because like you needed to go through this. You needed to go through this to get you to where you are right now in your life. You know, sometimes, you know, I do it too sometimes. Sometimes I beat myself up over the things I've done in the past. And then I click myself back into place. I'm like, you know what? I needed to go through that. Because if I didn't go through that, I wouldn't be here. You know? And sometimes they're hard lessons. Sometimes they're not things that you want to see. Right? Where's the other one? Sometimes you don't really want to see your truth. Yeah, well, sometimes I do too. See, these are both your reflections, seeing your truth. It's like, but it's what made you you, right? It's what makes you who you are as a person. Yes, it is a roller coaster, but like, it's like all these things that we go through, the roller coasters of life, right? If you learn from it, makes you a better person, makes you a stronger person, makes you know your worth more. Now when people come and they want to attack me about my past, I'm like, no, you can't. First of all, I've been my worst, I've beaten myself up more than anybody else has, right? But then besides that, I own it now. Like, yeah, that's my past. My past made me who I am today. And I had to go through that to get me here. And you know what? I'm freaking proud of myself because it was hard, right? So don't be upset with yourself. No, it was something you needed to go through. Well, good. But I'm saying some people still do. Some people, sometimes we beat ourselves up over the past, and even Spirit is telling you it's what you needed to go through. If you didn't go through this, you wouldn't be where you are right now. It was a lesson that you needed to learn so you can see your truth and that you can see that you are worth more than this. It was almost like a lesson for you to know your self-worth. That's what it feels like to me, right? And stop sabotaging yourself and not manifesting what you truly want in your life. All right, guys, I got to run. It was great seeing you guys all today. I'll probably see you later. I love you guys. Love and lights.